Hey everyone, and welcome to the 20th episode of the One Shitty Family Podcast. I'm your host, DS6Nerd. We got a very short episode this week. We had some big plans, but things changed at the last minute. But we still had a productive episode this week. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm recording this after we recorded the main episode. Because we had a bit of an interesting start to the episode. But regardless, let's get to the actual episode right now.
Oh yeah, so last week you guys talked about Dawn, right?
Yeah, we basically did nothing but talk about her.
Basically, me and Kyle were gushing big for Dawn. Should have been there along with Callum.
Well, I can give my reaction now. Dawn, oh my god!
Nice.
That is a mood.
I'm so glad.
That is the reaction we all want.
I'm so glad that no one's here at the desk with me right now. Because that would have been awkward.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh my god, could you actually imagine if someone just came in right now and was like, what the fuck is that girl doing? They'd be wrinking their eyes really hard like, huh? But yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I kind of had the same reaction when I first saw the trailer last week.
Oh my god, I was literally waking up for work, and the thing is that I usually don't go on Twitter before I go to work, but that day I was like, I'll just go on it to see what's going on. And I just saw everyone talking about Dawn. I was like, wait, what? And then I see a tweet saying, Dawn's back. I was like, wait, what? And I was losing my shit.
I mean,
I started to cry.
I mean, I was just thrown out of bed when I was checking my phone. I wasn't even fully awake, and I was like, oh god. And so I saw so many people going nuts. I was like, oh crap, something big happened. And I didn't even check Twitter. I checked the link that Callum sent last Friday morning. Didn't even see the thumbnail because I wanted to not be spoiled. And I actually recorded my reaction.
You recorded your reaction?
I did. I did not post it because obviously copyright on YouTube.
Okay.
I should share that to the group chat.
Moment.
I should share that to the group.
I do wanna see it.
Yeah, I'll send that.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it.
I'll send it to the group chat after we're done recording.
Cool.
I gotta remember to actually do it.
But man, what a moment. What a moment.
I think I got a heart attack that day because I did not open up Twitter at all.
Same.
I was installing a rock stand so I could place my new guitars, and then I checked my phone. I was like, wait, something big's going on. And then I saw Dawn is back, bitches, and I literally got a heart attack. It was a moment to behold.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it, for me at least, is that she's coming back the day before my birthday. So that's Pog.
That is awesome.
That's
really
amazing.
Only 2 more weeks, guys.
Okay, well.
Looks
So
like I'm
long.
running
I still have to wait so long.
At least we don't have to wait a few months for it.
That's true.
in about 13 days, aka less than 2 weeks.
Hard to believe that's already been a week since we heard about Dawn coming back.
I know, it's been an exact week.
It still doesn't feel real to me.
Ah, shit. Think my manager is coming out, so,
oh, no.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go.
Alright.
But it was nice talking to you guys.
Manager.
Yeah, same to you, honey.
Love you too, honey.
The Karen. Anyway, bye.
Alright.
Bye, honey.
Good luck, honey.
Take care. Good luck, honey.
Oh my god. So let's get things started with the Equipball briefings. Starting things off with Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is going to be doing a new Max Rain event themed around the Curry rankings, with the chance to get Shiny Gigantamax Caparaja, which runs until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Sunday. And Sam, you said you already got one, right?
Yep, got one.
You're better than me.
I'm not you, Kyle, Mr. Shiny
Okay,
Grandmaster Kyle.
don't need to rub it in. Don't need to rub it in. But anyway.
But yeah.
And
I got one.
then Pokemon Masters EX actually has started teasing for the summer 2021 variant for Gloria and I believe Marnie as well. Even though we already saw them because of the data mines.
Yeah.
I'm so excited though because the designs are amazing. Oh, so the first 12 episodes for the dub of Pokemon Master Journeys is set to be released on Netflix on the 10th of September. Quite a long wait actually. So it looks like they're going to be doing the same kind of release schedule that they did for Pokemon Journeys, where 12 episodes every 3 months. I gotta catch up with Journeys. Speak of the devil. Of course, there was no.
I don't even watch this.
That's fair, but
I will still watch the Dawn episode. Wink, wink, wink.
Oh, I'm sure we will have plenty of thoughts for that special once it actually airs.
Yeah, maybe do like a watch party, or maybe not. I don't know.
Probably not on.
That's up for you.
Probably not in a recording because copyright. But we can we can probably watch it before we can start recording. We'll figure that out when the episode actually airs.
Absolutely, we got 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, gonna have to stay off Twitter till then. That was for me, so
yeah, that's probably the best idea.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the best idea. So yeah.
All right. But we passed that. Is the 5-year anniversary event has started for Pokemon Go, and this will run until the 15th of July. And the big stuff for this week is that Nintendo announced a new model of the Switch this past Tuesday, called the Nintendo Switch OLED model. This is more of a refresh for the Switch as opposed to like a whole upgrade. The key changes for a 7-inch OLED display, a redesigned kickstand, doubled storage, enhanced audio, probably better speakers, and a LAN port built into the dock, and it's all to be set to release on the 8th of October for $350. What are our thoughts about this thing? Do you want to go first? Or
I don't know.
Do you want me to talk first?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
You can talk first.
Okay. So many people, I've seen mixed reactions with this thing because many people got their hopes up so high because of the supposed Switch Pro rumors that's been going on for many months at this point. But there was this one YouTube video that I saw a couple days ago that made an excellent point about Nintendo basically doing the bare minimum when it comes to changing what needs to be changed for the Switch, because over the past year the Switch saw an enormous growth in popularity, partially because of the pandemic. Like, it sold incredibly well for the past year. Like, we're pretty much at the peak of the console's life, and not to mention,
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Oh, sorry, Kyle.
and plus, so for Nintendo to release a new Switch that's more powerful would kind of be a kick to the face to people who had just bought a Switch this past year. And not to mention, not to mention the global chip shortage would make it more difficult for people to get a hold of a new Switch if Nintendo were to include a more powerful processor, for example. Like, to me, this revision feels like an XL model, kind of like going from the 3DS to the 3DS XL, where, yeah, it was a new design and some quality of life changes, but function-wise, it was identical, and that's exactly what the Switch OLED is going to be. So I don't mind this actually. I think it's actually a really nice-looking model and a really smart one to release as well. And the kickstand and double storage are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most outside of the new screen. Like it looks great with the smaller bezels on the front, and also the new white color that they're gonna have with the Joy-Cons and the dock. That looks classy. I really like the look of the white model. Like if there's no Pokemon one, then I'm definitely going to get the white one. Or as I like to call it, the Stormtrooper edition. I'm not sorry.
It's Stormtrooper edition.
I'm not sorry.
It's actually a pog name, though. I'm not gonna lie.
But like, for existing Switch customers, it might not be that worthwhile of an upgrade because aside from the better kickstand and increased storage, and even a built-in Ethernet port into the dock, there's really not much here to justify dropping $350. But I feel like this is. I think this was another point that I saw in the same video I was mentioning earlier. But I think for Switch Lite customers who decided that they want to upgrade to one of the hybrid models, I think the new OLED model might make sense actually, because that OLED screen is really only an upgrade for handheld mode as opposed to on the TV, because for TV mode there's no upgrade at all, and I'm pretty sure that's what's causing the most amount of disappointment. There's no increase in performance, which I can understand because some games on the Switch could run a little better. However, I don't really think it's that big of a deal for me personally, because if Nintendo were to include this OLED screen, the kickstand, all these other additional changes to this model, along with including a more powerful CPU and GPU, that would increase the cost significantly, like to over the $400 mark. And we have not seen a Nintendo product exceed or even reach the $400 foot mark. $400 foot mark. Wow, why did I say that? You get what I mean, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like, I was talking about this with one of my friends on Tuesday, and he was like, "Why isn't that called the Switch Pro?" And I'm like, "It's not really much of an upgrade. This is more of a traditional revision for the standard Nintendo Switch." And
yeah,
like the Switch Lite is pretty much meant to be a budget model for the Switch line. And this new OLED model is pretty much meant to be the new flagship. And not to mention, but I feel like for people who are shopping for a Switch now, I think waiting for the OLED model might make more sense instead of picking up the standard Switch right now. Because there's really no compelling reason to go with the standard Switch over the OLED, aside from the fact that you're saving a little bit of money, but when the prices are that close, you might as well save a little more to get the better model. So like,
oh yeah.
So I'm most likely going to get it because I'm an idiot, I'm crazy, and also a bit of a nerd.
We're all nerds.
That is true. That is true. Not to mention the all the accessories are pretty much going to be the same, because the actual body of the Switch OLED itself is the same exact size as the current standard Switch. That's mostly because it needs to retain compatibility with the Joy-Cons and existing carrying cases. So like, and also a lot of people were disappointed that this thing is not outputting 4K. Do you really think that something as small as the Nintendo Switch can output 4K on the TV? Like, I feel like that would be... I've always thought 4K on the Switch would be too good to be true. And Nintendo doesn't really follow industry standards that much. Like, they didn't get their consoles up to HD until the Wii U in 2012, and And they're still the only big manufacturer that's still not including analog triggers on their controllers, for example. But they do anything but follow the industry standards. And I feel like, and Nintendo consoles don't really need 4K just to be a good quality product. Like if you're all about that 4K stuff, then you most likely already have like a PS5 or Xbox Series X, which are of course more expensive than the Switch. And not to mention,
definitely.
Not to mention, gaming at 4K is really system intensive. Even if they do something like NVIDIA's DLSS, which takes a 1080p image and upscales it to 4K instead of truly rendering something at 4K. But even so, that's still very system intensive, and that would pretty much require redesigned thermals to a redesigned thermal system to accommodate the higher CPU and GPU temps which would require either double the fans or a thicker system. And I don't think that, which would of course make the system more expensive no matter which route Nintendo would go. And like I said, I feel like 4K on the Switch was too good to be true. Like, that sounded incredibly ambitious when the reports first came out, and I'm like, is Nintendo really willing to put 4K on this tiny little home console? I don't think so. I feel like if they really wanted to go for 4K, then that would probably come with the next generation home console from Nintendo, which won't be happening for a while. Especially since the Switch is pretty much at the peak of its lifespan right now. And so, I feel like with... Also, I feel like with the release of the Switch OLED this late in its life kind of proves that the Switch has like another 4 years in its life before we even see a new next generation console from Nintendo. Because like, and also this follows a trend with this continues a trend with Switch hardware releases, because we got the first model in 2017, and then we got the Switch Lite in 2019, so a 2-year gap, and there we go, 2021, another 2 years later, and we're getting another new model. So if this pattern continues, then we'll probably get a true midlife upgrade for the Switch around 2023. And I think that is definitely the one for people to go for, but I don't think it's worth waiting that long just to buy a Switch. Like, if you're waiting to buy a Switch, I'd say go for the OLED model. That's probably going to be the new best model. But for existing Switch customers, like I said, standard Switch owners might not have that many reasons to want to go for the OLED model. Maybe for the better screen and more storage, but Switch Lite owners might see more of a benefit for going for the OLED model, because of course the Switch Lite is handheld only, and the Switch OLED is going to be that full hybrid, just like the original. I'd say, but I feel like the reception from this is a case of expectations versus reality. Like,
that's an accurate statement for sure.
And also, the fact that Nintendo revealed this after E3 shows that they wanted people to focus on the games that are coming, and then focus on the new hardware a couple weeks after that. And also, they were releasing this on the same day that Metroid Dread is coming out, and I think that is a perfect time to release the Switch OLED, because you have this new system and a brand new game to release on the same day to play on it. So, to me, that is really smart. Like, we saw this with past revisions of the Switch, not the Switch, like say the 3DS for example. Like when the 3DS XL came out in 2012, they released it with New Super Mario Bros. 2. The 2DS came out at the same time as Pokemon X and Y, and then the new 3DS XL here in North America came out with Monster Hunter and the Majora's Mask remake. So like releasing the new console revision with a brand new game, it's always made sense every single time, and I'm personally looking forward to it. Although I'm probably gonna wait on buying it just to see if there's any special editions that pique my interest. But if not, then I'm definitely gonna get the white one. But if white doesn't pique your interest, then they do have the standard black dock with the blue and red Joy-Cons that we've had since launch. But all in all, like I said, I think this is definitely a nice redesign. Like, the kickstand looks miles better than the original Switch. Like, the original Switch's kickstand was hot garbage. It was only on one side, it was cheap, it only had one position, it fell apart really easily, it was just not good. This was honestly my least favorite part of the original Switch. Like, my kickstand is very loose, it doesn't even stay locked when closed, so it's just kind of wobbling when it's facing down. And I can understand why some people would want the Joy-Cons to get redesigned because of the drifting issue, but like, that would require a brand new controller to be released, and I feel like those would be more expensive. But like, I feel like Nintendo could have easily at least addressed the Joy-Cons not getting a redesign or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm even making sense, but whatever. But I feel like this redesign wasn't so much about the controllers, it was more about the console itself. And the new dock actually looks quite nice. It's not as boxy as the original one. And I really like the fact that they're finally offering it in a different color as opposed to standard black or something included with a special edition.
Yeah.
Although I do wish that this thing was not in all black, personally. Like, it's fine, but like, it collects fingerprints way too easily, at least on the original model. I have the Zachi and Zamazenta edition Switch Lite, and I've had no issues with scratches or fingerprints on that one. But then again, my original Switch I've had since 2018, and it's definitely gotten its fair share of reviews. It's like, but like the double storage, I'd say is really nice, although that's still a little tight for a game console in 2021. But that is way better than the unacceptable 32 gigs that's on the current Switch and Switch Lite. You pretty much have to buy a micro SD card if you're going to be downloading pretty much anything on your Switch. And that's just an extra expense on top of an already pretty pricey console. But,
yeah.
And I feel like Nintendo could have also easily, this is just more of a personal preference. I would have liked to also see them release a white Pro Controller to go along with the white Joy-Cons and dock for the Switch OLED. I feel like that would look incredibly slick, especially with the white of the Joy-Cons and the new dock. Like, I saw a mock-up on Twitter, I think the day after the reveal, I don't remember, where there was an all-white Pro Controller. Even the buttons and sticks were white, and I thought it looked really cool. But I feel like if Nintendo were to make a white Pro Controller, then they would probably make the buttons and sticks black, just like the Joy-Cons. And that kind of actually gives me vibes of the white Xbox Series controller, where where both the entire body is all white, including the bumpers and triggers, and some of the system buttons, but the face buttons, D-pad, and sticks are all black, and it looks really, really nice. But like, I like the Pro Controller, I love it, but I just wish it came in multiple colors, because I'm personally not a fan of all black, but whatever, it's just a personal preference. I feel like
yeah, black can be a little too bland and boring sometimes. I'm with you there.
Yeah, like, and also I lose stuff easily that are just all black, because it's really hard to find them in the dark, for example.
Yeah.
And I just like having some variety in colors, you know. But that's just my personal preference. And also,
for sure, everyone has. Yeah, for sure, everyone has their personal preference.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, interestingly, in the trailer for the console, we actually saw some updated footage for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Just casually snuck in there. And honestly,
I have not seen it yet,
oh, you haven't?
but I have seen. I've only seen some few pictures from it, but I don't think I've seen the trailer itself. No,
Yeah, the key difference is,
but I have seen some subtle improvements on the game. Like Lucas's bag looks a little bit better now than before.
yeah, like it's a good thing you actually brought up the bag. Actually, I was about to bring that up because in the trailer that we got back in February, it looks bland. It looked a bit off, but in the trailer for the Switch OLED, there's actual detail in the bag. You can actually see the pockets a little bit, and it doesn't.
Oh, that's nice.
It actually doesn't look like just an egg sticking out of Lucas's back. And also,
That's nice.
And the color scheme is nowhere of the game itself. At least in the battle background, it's nowhere near as saturated as the original trailer. It looks a lot closer to the original Diamond and Pearl. And also, Lucas's face actually looks a lot better in this trailer. Like, his eyebrows are nowhere near as far away from his eyes as it was in the original trailer. So like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
it's like it's good that we are seeing some more stuff about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, but I did not expect it to happen like this. Like, we still haven't gotten a new trailer for these games yet. But hey, I'll take this.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But I'll take this because it gives us a better idea of what the game is actually going to look like. It also proves that games can actually change during development.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hence the disclaimer of game footage not final at the bottom of every trailer.
People should really understand that, to be quite honest.
Exactly. But this is a game that's still...
Like, the text is right there.
This is a game that's still in development. There's bound to be changes from reveal to release. And I feel like...
Absolutely.
I feel like the changes that we have seen in this trailer make the games look even better. So I'd say...
Absolutely.
I just hope we actually get a proper new trailer for BDSP and Legends soon. It is Cinema month after all. We're going into the middle of July.
I haven't heard anything new of Legends, correct?
We haven't gotten anything new from Legends ever since that reveal trailer. So I'd say
well, I think it's about time we get some new info.
Yeah, I hope so too. We just gotta wait though. That's all we could do.
Yeah. Yeah, patience is key.
Exactly. Well, I'm like I said, I'm just hoping that we get a special edition of for the Switch OLED. Like, I'm imagining the Joy-Cons being colored after Dialga and Palkia, kind of like the Let's Go edition that came out in 2018, where we had one colored Joy-Con for Pikachu and one Joy-Con color for Eevee. I kind of want to see that again for the Switch OLED. Although it would also be cool if there were two, one for each version, so that one set of Joy-Cons be colored after Dialga and another set for Palkia, and have them come with each version of the game. But like, that'd be producing two different colors for two different variations of the Switch OLED, and I feel like I don't think Nintendo would want to do that. Because well, they have done two colors for one special edition, like with X and Y. There were two colors for the same edition, so you had one that was blue for X and one that was Y for wow, one that was red for Y. My God.
Yeah.
Oh,
one blue for X, one red for Y.
Yeah, that is what I meant to say the first time. Oh, dearie me. And we'll probably get some special art on the dock as well.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I mean, they most likely will. Because although I don't know if they're going to be included in the game. Because it'll all depend on when it releases, if they do actually make one. Because if they're going to release one before BDSP comes out, then they'll most likely not include the game. But if they release it at the same time, then I could see them including the game as a download code. Although, they have released a special edition. Nintendo has released a special edition Switch and included the game before a game's official release, which was, of course, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But I don't think they'll want to do that again for this one. Because the Zacian and Zamazenta edition Switch Lite released a week before Sword and Shield, and that didn't include either game. Same goes with the Sokolina Black New 3DS XL back in 2016. That released earlier than Sun and Moon, and that didn't include a game. So I'd say Nintendo releasing Pokemon Edition systems and including the game at the same time is pretty uncommon. So we'll just have to wait and see. Because all we know right now is just the Switch OLED, no release date, and nothing else. As well as all the changes made to that console, of course.
Absolutely.
But I feel like this is definitely a proper redesign for the Switch. Like, this definitely feels more like the console easing out of its growing pains, because we've had the same design since the console came out, but the only big change coming in the form of the Switch Lite. And that wasn't really much of an upgrade for existing Switch customers. Like, it was more of a downgrade because it was handheld only. So we had to wait quite a bit longer for a proper revision of the standard Switch. And this turned out to be something that I don't think a lot of people expected. But like I said, this was more of a case of expectations versus reality. Like, just because
reality, yeah.
Like, just because these rumors are saying that this and such is going to happen, doesn't mean that that's actually going to actually happen.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, they're just rumors, no matter how credible the source might be.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's kind of why I don't really want to believe or even cover rumors myself, because they can create a false sense of hope. And that's pretty much exactly what we saw with this supposed Switch Pro rumor.
Absolutely.
So unlike the Switch Lite, I do feel like this is definitely more of... I do feel like this is definitely an appropriate redesign, because it refines the areas of the Switch that needed it the most, like the kickstand, the storage. Kind of hoping for a glass screen cover, but something's telling me it's still going to be plastic, which again can help keep costs down. But like the battery life of the Switch OLED is going to be the same, so 4.5 to 9 hours, depending on what game you're playing. And the performance is going to be the exact same. The screen is, while it is bigger, is going to be the same resolution and refresh rate. So, and I think that's fine, because trying to play games at 1080p in handheld mode would just kill the battery in just 3 hours. And the original launch Switch struggles with battery life, and it didn't get good until Nintendo finally refreshed the Switch in 2019. So like, so I'd say if your current Switch is not the 2019 refresh model, and for some reason it's already showing its way out, then I'd say we can go for the Switch OLED. But for the average consumer, unless you either have a Switch Lite and would like to upgrade, or don't even have a Switch yet, I'd say wait for the OLED model. That one's probably going to be my new daily Switch, even though I was already committed to the Switch Lite for my daily. I even did a whole video on the Zacian Zamazenta Edition Switch Lite, and I was so committed to having it be my primary Switch. But the pandemic hit, and I've been using my regular Switch more often at home, which is a little awkward. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Oh my god. It is what it is, yeah.
And I'd say the price is fair because OLED screens tend to be more expensive than their LCD counterparts anyway. So that pretty much explains why it's a little bit more expensive at $350 as opposed to $300, which I still say is a decently fair price. That's still a pretty high price for a Nintendo handheld, but consider the upgrades on top of the already many great strengths that the Switch already offers. I'd say that's still a pretty decent value. And now if it were $400, then it'd be a different story. And I'm like, that's not worth it at that price. But because it's only $50 more expensive, I'd say it's fine. But I think that's the highest that Nintendo can possibly go for pricing. Because if they're gonna try to charge any more, then they'd have to justify that by giving it more changes, like say better performance in handheld mode, for example, or a better performance in TV mode, that kind of stuff. And even though OLED screens tend to be more energy efficient than LCD, because with LCD you gotta backlight the whole display, even if you're displaying, say, just the battery bar when you connect the charger. But but since the screen is gonna be bigger, that kind of balances it out, which is probably why we have the same battery life, and the battery size is probably going to be the same, so probably about 4310 milliamp hours, like the original model. But
yeah.
And also, the packaging looks very interesting. It's more vertical as opposed to horizontal. So at first I thought, oh, are they going to be removing anything? But they didn't mention anything. So it's probably just a rearranging thing, and it's probably so minor that it doesn't even matter. That rhymed. Because when I first saw the box, it looked a lot smaller at first. And then I was like, is Nintendo going to take something out? And for a split second, I was like, oh, they're probably going to remove the AC adapter, but that would be a bad move, all things considered. Because what's the point of shipping a console with the dock to connect to the TV if you don't even connect the AC adapter? So it was a very stupid thought that I had when I first saw the box. And also, I was tired when I first saw the box. I was just waking up when I saw it. So I wasn't thinking straight when I first saw it. But I think having the box be tall but not as wide, I think it's definitely going to be easier for transport. Because the box for the original Switch is actually quite wide. And then there's just a lot of space that was not really being used much at all. Like, especially that tray that holds the Switch and the Joy-Con when you first open the box. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm rambling about the packaging. It's just freaking packaging. It doesn't even matter to the user experience. But when it comes to the kickstand, I wouldn't be surprised if the kickstand hinge is the same one that Nintendo has on their adjustable charging stand that they sell separately for $20. Because that can also adjust to pretty much any angle. Although, even though this kickstand is definitely going to be a better design, it looks like you're still going to have to get some kind of stand if you want to charge while using tabletop mode at the same time. Which is kind of an unavoidable consequence by having the charging port on the bottom of the console. But other than that, I think this is definitely going to be a nice redesign. Like I said multiple times, I don't think it was what many people expected, but I'm perfectly fine with it because Nintendo doesn't really need to upgrade the performance, especially with a chip shortage, and that would again increase the cost, and it would push it at or even above $400. So And with the Switch at its peak in its life cycle, I think just giving it basically the XL treatment that the 3DS got, I think it's smart. It's definitely smart. So I don't mind it. I'm not upset by it, but I do wish that there was maybe a little more done to it, but whatever. And of course, today is the 20th episode, and we were actually going to do a quiz, but it wouldn't exactly be all that fun with only 2 people. So we might be able to do that next week. And as you saw earlier in the episode, Honey was able to join us for a few minutes, but I had to get back to work, unfortunately. There is one thing that I do want to add before we actually do close. It's about that not sure if it's going to be up by the time I get the episode up, but I actually did start recording a new series for the channel. And it's going to be a really fun one, and hopefully I'll have at least one episode up by the time this episode goes up. So that is exciting. The first episode is almost done, and I will eventually get back to working on my Let's Play for New Pokemon Snap, because I do need to finish that, because it's been almost 2 months. Wait, it has been 2 months? Yeah, it has been 2 months. It's been almost 3 months since the game came out, so I kind of need to actually finish that game, which would be really nice. But without further ado, I think, unless Sam has anything else that he wants to add for today, I think I'll just wait for him to come back. I mean, like I said, it's really hard to believe that it's been a week since we first heard about Dawn coming back to the anime. Obviously, there was no new episode for Journeys this week, but next week we have Phalanx and Ice Cube making their debuts. So that, I believe that's next week. I should have checked, but they're coming soon at least, so that's exciting. And let me go check Cerebi, see if there's anything to note. We did get more information about Pokemon Go Fest later this month, like being able to do 6 special trades a day from July 16th to July 19th. Pikachu with a Mellow Weather hat will be in the wild on both days of the event with its shiny variant. And on the 17th, Galarian Ponyta and Guardian Zigzagoon will appear in raids with Mellow Weather hats and a chance to be shiny. That is adorable. Niantic did put out the actual designs for Ponyta and Zigzagoon with the Mellow Weather hat. They look freaking adorable. I love them. They are perfect. It must be protected at all costs. Of course, I'm also very biased toward Ponyta, so oh man. But I think I would have to buy a ticket to get them. And given my gripes with Pokemon Go lately, I'm not sure if I want to drop the money just yet, even if it's only $5. But I'd rather save my money on something else, at least right now. But whatever. And last week was on the 3rd of July was Tepping Community Day for Pokemon Go, and I actually managed to get 12 shinies during the event while I was editing last week's episode. So I'd say it was pretty successful. That was about like 5 to 10 is usually my average for Community Day. So that's not bad. And also, anyway, going back to the Switch OLED, can I just say I don't like the name Nintendo Switch OLED model. Yeah, not exactly a good name. Like, why name your console after a certain piece of tech that's in the product? I feel like it could have been better. Like, call it Switch XL or something. Although, I don't know. Like, I just feel like they could have gone with something better. the Nintendo Switch OLED model. Like, the name is just bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Granted, this is Nintendo we're talking about, and they have anything but good names, but this is definitely one of the weaker ones. Even if the console itself looks pretty exciting. But yeah, the name is it's probably my biggest complaint with the console, honestly. I don't know, man. It just doesn't do it for me, but it is what it is. And I would like to see a better Joy-Con grip included in the box, but that's not going to happen. And of course, something to adjust the Joy-Con drift, but that's not happening here either. And that which is a valid concern that I've seen being tossed around, because the Joy-Con drift really is a problem, and Nintendo hasn't really been doing much to address it, which is naughty. Granted, none of my Joy-Cons have been drifting, but it's. I hope that at least with the next model of Switch, we get something to improve the drift, because this problem's been dragging on for too long, honestly. And I'll probably use something like the Hori Split Pad Pro for handheld use, at least when I'm at home, because I find the full size Switch to be a little uncomfortable in handheld mode after a while. Not because the Joy-Cons are small and pretty. I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's and quite flat. That's what I'm looking for. Like, there's no proper grip to rest your hands on. Like, aside from the triggers, there's really nothing else to comfortably rest your hands with. And at least with my hands, it gets uncomfortable after a little while. So I end up going for something like the Split Pad Pro for handheld use, or just go to the TV and use my Pro Controller, which is also just as comfy. So it is unfortunate that it seems like the console itself only seems to be getting the biggest upgrades, but the dock in a slight redesign. And Nintendo did also go on record saying that the original Switch and Switch OLED are cross-compatible with each other's docks. Although a system update will probably be required to do so, at least on the original Switch. I'm not sure about the OLED model. Nintendo also already has a carrying case announced alongside the Switch OLED. In fact, it's just a simple little carrying case along with a plastic screen protector. Which, I mean, cool. It's good, I guess. But I mean, it's compatible with all the current carrying cases because it's the same size as the existing Switch. But like, I'm probably gonna wait to get a screen protector until so I can get my hands on the glass one. And this new carrying case is releasing on the same day as the console itself for $20. I'd say it's an okay price. But all in all, I'm definitely excited for the Switch OLED. It's not that drastic of a redesign, but it's a redesign that, like I said, just makes plenty of sense. And I'm gonna get it anyway, even though I already have a Switch. I still like the neon red and blue Joy-Cons. Like, it looks a little weird on the Switch OLED. Like on the original Switch, that's a classic look, but on the Switch OLED, looks a little weird. Not gonna lie. And the bundle that comes with the neon Joy-Cons comes with a black dock, which no doubt will blend better into most people's setups. But for me personally, that white dock is classy as hell. I love the look of the new dock, and I think like the slimmer bezels makes it look a lot more modern. It's like if you already have a Switch, then and you're wondering what the size is gonna be like, just grab it right now and hold it in your hands. That's gonna be the size of the Switch OLED. It's like I said, the size is gonna be the same because it's just the screen that's getting bigger. Just and of course the redesigned kickstand, but externally nothing else is really going to be changing all that much. The speakers could be relocated to right around the edge of the bezel, so I do wonder how that's going to affect audio quality. But aside from that, I'm starting to sound like a broken record because I've already said I'm excited like many times this episode. But whatever. But with all that said, I think we're gonna wrap up for today because there's not much else that we can really talk about for this week. We couldn't do the quiz today, obviously, because Callum was not able to join us, and Honey has work at the time of we're recording this. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully all four of us will be able to do an episode together again really soon. But that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, through it all, we're still a family, one shitty family.